Good morning, friends. Today we're going to look at letter B. First thing you should always do for your packet is put your name at the top. Notice how I use my left hand to hold my paper while my right hand writes. If you write with your left hand, you'll just switch that. Hold with your left hand. Hold your pencil with your left hand. Hold your paper with your right hand. I'm writing my name at the top. I'm also going to write my number on the line below where the date goes. Make sure you put today's date. If you're not sure what it is, look at the board or at a calendar. All right, so the first thing we always do is trace the big B, the big letter at the top. Today we're doing B, so I'm going to start at the roof, go to the floor, start at the roof, drag out, swoop back in at the middle line, then drag out, swoop back in to the floor, and connect it to that first line. I'm going to trace all of the B's on the top line, just like this. Notice I always start at the top of my letter at the roof and go to the floor, working my way from the top to the bottom of the letter. Swoop back down. Pause the video and finish tracing the B's that you see on these lines. You should have just traced all of the B's on this line and all of the B's on this line. So what was a dotted B now looks like this. Start at the roof, work my way to the floor. Start at the roof, work my way to the floor. Now we are going to count how many B's we see on the top line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you should have 5 B's on each line with a full finger space between each B. A full finger space between each B. So I'm going to put my finger down, start at the roof, go to the floor, swoop out, swoop back in, swoop out, swoop back in. When I look at my B and this B, I noticed I didn't swoop out far enough before I came back to the middle line. So I'm going to try to fix that the next time. Start at the roof, drag to the floor. I'm going to swoop out a little bit longer, then swoop back in. Swoop out a little bit longer, then swoop back in. That looks a lot more like that first B. Okay, pause the video, complete this line. You should now have 5 B's on this line. Trace the first B. On the next line, it's a dotted B. And write your 5 more B's. Remember to use your finger space between each B so that you have plenty of room between each of your letters. Pause the video and finish this line. You should have just finished this line and should have 5 B's on this line. The next step for this page is find the letter capital B and draw a circle around it in this box. They did the first one for you. Find the other letter capital B's, like this one, in this box, and do that on your own. Pause the video and do that now. You should have just circled all of the B's on this page. Now we're going to do lowercase b. Remember what Ms. Helmick said. Always start with the biggest letter in the corner. It's bigger than the rest. It makes it easier to trace. Notice what I did. I start with my stick, go to the roof, to the floor, then I draw my circle. I always start my circle at the top of the shape. In this case, the top of the shape for the circle is at the dotted line. I'm going to do it again. Roof to floor, start my circle at the dotted line, connect it to the floor, connect it back where I started. One more time, I'm going to show you. Roof to floor, dotted line, make my circle, go back up to this middle line. The best way to get a really good circle shape is to keep your eye on your starting point at that middle line, and your pencil will go right back to it really well. I'm going to show you what that looks like without tracing. Roof to floor. Start at the dotted line. My eye is still at the dotted line, and I just completed my circle. It's not perfect. It's a little off right here. That's okay. You're going to make sure you trace each letter on the top row. Put each letter on the second row. That means you're tracing these dotted B's. Pause the video and trace them now. You should have just traced all of these lowercase b's with the black line, all of these lowercase b's with a dotted line. Notice there is still a finger space between each of those b's, which means you need to put a whole finger space between each of your b's. So I move over, I have a finger space, roof to floor, dotted line, go all the way around and connect. You should have 5 lowercase b's on this line when you are done. Pause the video and complete this line. You should have 5 lowercase b's on this line now, with the first letter being a black B. Now you're going to do the dotted B. I'm going to start at the roof, go to the floor, make my circle. You should have 5 B's on this line when you are done. Pause the video and do that now. All right, you should have 5 B's on every single line now. 5 B's on every single line now. At the bottom, it says find the letter B and draw a circle around it. Oops, they circled the letter A, so you're going to cross that off and then circle the first one, which is a B. Find the rest of the B's in that box. Pause your video, do that now. All right, so far you have completed 2 pages. You have your capital B and your lowercase b. I want you to look on the capital B page, find your very best B that you drew without being a trace. So look at this line and this line, your bottom 2 lines, find your very best B and draw a big circle around it. Find the B that you think needs the most growing, things that you can improve on that B, and draw a triangle around it. Now look at this page. When I look at this page, I'm going to do my glowing bee and my growing bee. My glowing bee is the very best one. I think my very best glowing bee on this page is this one. It's going to be a smiley. My growing bee, the one I need to do better, would be this one or this one. But when I look at them, I connected better on this bee than I did on this bee. And it's a really funny shape here. So I'm going to say this is the one I need to grow on. I'm going to put a check mark above it just like that. You need to do the same thing with yours. Pause the video, do that now. All right, you should have circled your glowing bee here and triangled your growing bee. Your glowing bee is the one you did the best. Your growing bee is the one you need to improve. You should have put a smiley face by your very best bee and put a check mark by your bee you need to improve the most. This page is now complete. Turn the page. Now it's going to have you trace both bees at the top corner. Remember to start at the roof, drag to the floor, then make your swoops or circles. So if we had 5 bees on the previous page, we had 5 bees on each line. So you probably should do the same thing again. So I'm going to put a 5 by each of them. So you know how many bees you need. You're going to trace first, then write your own. Trace first, then write your own. Trace first, then write your own. I need my finger space. I traced first, now I'm writing my own. I start at the roof, swoop out, back in, swoop out, back in. I'm going to put in my finger space, do it again. Swoop out, back in. I only did 2 more B's. You should have 1 more on this line. Then I'm going to do this next line. I have a black line B and a dotted line B for you to trace, lowercase b. Do both of the tracings, then write your own. I didn't start at the top of the line for that shape, and it made it look funny. So I need to do a better job the next time. That looks a lot better. Okay. You need to finish this page by having 5 B's on each line with a finger space, a whole finger space between each B. Pause the video, do that now. You should have finished the 4 lines of B's. At the bottom of the page, there's a poem, and the directions say circle the letters capital B and lowercase b in the poem. So I'm going to look, and I'm going to do the first 2 lines with you. The title and the first line. Little boy blue. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. You're going to find all of the capital B's and lowercase b's in the rest of the poem on your own. Pause the video, do that now. You should have just circled a bunch of capital B's and lowercase b's in the poem. Now we're going to do the last page. Trace all the letters. If I don't see your pencil marks, I'm going to ask you to do it again. I traced my letters. I need to have 5 on this line, 5 on this line. I'm going to write the word boy. Again, I didn't start at the top. Notice how it looks funny. That's because I didn't start at the top of the shape. That's why you should always start at the top of the shape and drag down. The Y starts in the middle and drags down to the basement. Finger space, I can fit 2 boys on this line. 2. Bat, 2. Bark, 1. Ben, 1. When you're done, if you're in 3rd grade, put it in the middle tray on the yellow side. If you're in 2nd grade, put it in the bottom tray on the yellow side. I hope you're paying attention because those are different trays. I'll say it again. 3rd grade puts it in the middle tray on the yellow side. 2nd grade puts it in the bottom tray on the yellow side. Good luck.